life and not Facebook. Hey, YouTube family. This is my first attempt at uploading a video, and I'm really excited about it. A little bit nervous, but more excited than nervous. I have had this vision for years about doing this vlog. Talked to my sister, who's a professional at it, many times, and she finally said to me, Val, uh, I don't want to talk to you about this anymore if you're not going to actually do it. And I felt really like this big because I knew she was right. But anyway, I called my name. My name is actually Valerie Dixon, Dixon. And yes, I'm excited about that X and not, the way it's spelled. I like it. But that's my name, and I chose the name, but he put the wheels back for a reason. This is a story that's really amazing. It really speaks to how good God is, and that He sees us, He loves us, He takes great care of us. The story that I'm going to tell you originated in 2010, but I want to do a little backstory, a little history about me. So in 2005, I was diagnosed with a chronic illness, multiple sclerosis. And I didn't cry one tear over that diagnosis because, first of all, I'd gone through a long trial trying to figure out what it was. And I was just glad it wasn't something, I thought it was a brain tumor, to be honest, and I was glad that it wasn't. So when I found out about multiple sclerosis, my doctor, Dr. Jeffries, gave me this diagram about the progression of the disease and what I could do to, you know, maybe even slow it up even more. So I did that. I turns out I've had the disease way longer than 2005. I remember when I was a kid, or maybe middle school age, feeling sluggish and tired and other little things that I didn't tell anyone about. And then later on, I lost feeling from my waist down. It happened a couple times, but the first time it didn't last very long. The second time it happened, I was actually married. So my intimate life with my husband was really weird, and I'm glad that it went away. But it took a while. It went away. I didn't tell anyone then. I can't even explain why. I felt like something I needed to hide, like that. I knew there was something really, really weird going on, crazy, and I just prayed that it wouldn't last forever. And when it went away, I just let it go. But in '95, I had my second child, TJ, and after I had him, I had issues with, I think it was my right leg. I couldn't raise it up. It was hard to walk with it. So I went to see my doctor at the time. I can't remember his name for the life of me. I remember what he looked like, but I don't remember his name. I He kind of wrote it off as I don't know what it is. Let's see what happens, kind of thing. And I was young. Well, not that young. I was 27 when I had my son, but I didn't know then what I know now about being my own advocate when it comes to my entire life, not just my health, but to advocate for myself as well as others. I was born an advocate. But anyway, he didn't help me. I went back for another appointment for something else, and he had a woman with him, an intern. After we had a discussion about whatever the issue was, I walked out of the office, and there was this long corridor, long hallway. I got to the end and I made a turn. So he obviously thought I was out of earshot, or maybe he did. Maybe he wanted me to hear what he said. But he actually said, no, that was Chewbacca. I am tall and I'm brown. So he called me Chewbacca. That hurt me so deeply. I felt ashamed, like I was actually what he called me. The woman that was with him, the intern, actually said something to uh, let him know that she did not appreciate the comment that he made. But I was so stunned, but I wasn't so stunned that I didn't go right up to the checkout to say I want to change doctors. And that's when I was changed over to Dr. Walter Ezebo. He is amazing, and he helped me figure out what the cause of all of my issues were. But anyway, back to 2010, I I'd only known about the diagnosis of MS for 5 years. I don't know what was going on in 10, but I don't think I had a job at the time. I'm pretty sure that I didn't. I felt like I was in a mini, like a tiny little Job experience. I even read the entire book of Job all over again to kind of have a connection, like a camaraderie with someone who understood what I was going through. However, Job lost everything: his children, his livestock, his income, his health. He lost everything, and that's why I called mine a mini Job experience, because I did have problems with my health. I had I don't. It was just it was a trying time. Let's put it that way. But anyway, in the midst of all of that, my younger sister was about to have surgery. Well, let you know, folks, that throughout my, I told my, oh, I just pushed up my glasses, though I'm wearing my contacts today. But anyway, my sister was having surgery, and I knew that I was going to be there come hell or high water. And my mother was going with me, so my sister lives in Raleigh. I live in the Winston-Salem area. I loaded my mom up in my car, which was at that time behind, like 2, 3 months behind. I was behind in my payments. I did not have insurance on the car, but I knew I had to get to Raleigh. So I go. When I first got there and went inside, there was a knock on the door. One of my sister's neighbors came and said, "Is that your sister's car? I think it is your sister's car, but she left the light on in her car." And I was like, "Oh, thank you so much," because I don't want to not be able to crank it up when it's time to go. I think I had a pretty decent battery, but you know. So we took care of that. We all went to bed, getting ready for my sister's surgery. We had to be up super early. And around midnight or a little after, there was another knock on the door. Same girl. She was really like in a heightened state saying, "Oh my goodness, I think someone just stole one of the wheels off of your sister's car, one of the tires of your sister's car." And I called the police. So we were all like, what? And I got up and threw on some clothes, but instead of going straight out, I went into my sister's sunroom. It was like a whole bank of windows, and I stood there and I looked out at my car and I said, "This can't be happening, God. I can't call my insurance company to report vandalism because I don't have insurance right now." And I just decided right then I could call them to say, let the Nissan know where their car was and come and get it. I was like, I don't know how I'm going to get my mom back to the Winston-Salem area because, I don't have a car right now. But eventually I went outside with the rest of the family, my sister and my mom and my sister's neighbors. All of my wheels were gone, all four. And I was stunned again, like really, really stunned. I'm like, who would do this? What's going on here? This is like being in it was surreal. And I was like, where are the cops? What's taking them so long? And finally, a cop showed up, and he was all nonchalant about looking around the car and stuff. And I was like, have you ever seen anything like this? And he was like, unfortunately, I have. And he said, I said, but why this car? He was like, think about it. How many Altimas do you see on the road these days? And I said, oh my goodness, I understand why they would choose this car. And then he looked down again, and he looked up at me, and he said, but we caught them. You caught them? Because my sister's neighbors had called so quickly, they were able to apprehend the people who stole my wheels, all four. And I'd given him a little backstory about why I was in town that week going to take my sister to surgery early in the morning. And he said to me that it was actually a ring of thefts, the people that they caught. So they had been looking for them, and they actually were able to apprehend them that night. Because of the neighbor calling to say, "Hey, I think someone just stole some wheels off of a car in our parking lot." So they found the wheels, and he said because we needed to take my sister to surgery, he was going to bring those wheels back that night. And I don't know if he said he was going to put them on. I think he did say he was going to put them on, but he said he was going to bring them back, even if his boss said that he couldn't. He was going to bring them back. So around 3 a.m., lo and behold, not only did he show up, but he brought two more police officers with him, and they lined their cars up in the parking lot so that all their lights shone on my car. They brought the wheels out. I stood in that same sunroom with a bank of windows and watched them put all four of my wheels back on my car. They looked like angels floating around the car instead of mere mortals walking around putting the wheels back on. And when they finished, the officer came to the door again, and he said that during during the time of putting the wheels back on, my jack actually broke. This man went to his house to get his own personal jack to finish the job, and they couldn't find all of the lug nuts because, of course, the guys who were stealing my tires were in a hurry, so they were scattered all around. They found most of them, so he told me where to go after we got my sister situated at the hospital. Where to go to get the lug nuts put back on my tires, my wheels. The whole next day, I just kept saying, but he put the wheels back on my car. He sees me. He hears me. He helps me. He loves me. And if he can do that, he can do anything. So when I get down or start feeling a certain kind of way about things, I get reminded that, well, all I have to say is, but he put the wheels back on. I say on my car, but he can do that for all of us. It's not just me. He has no respect of man. So what he did for me, he can do for everyone. We just have to trust him. That's what this whole channel is about. We just have to trust him. So I want to hear more stories about similar accounts that God has done something really quite simple, but to us, it amazes us that in the moment that we need him the most, he shows up. He's always here with us. Sometimes he's got to just show us a little extra to say, come on, baby, you know that you're okay. Trust in me. I love you. It's just that simple. He loves us. So, send your stories to Buddy Put the Wheels Back at gmail.com, and I'll review them and make sure you put your contact information and let me know what your story's about, and I will contact you and we will do an interview. I don't know if you're not close by, we can do the Zoom. We'll figure it out, but we're going to flood the internet with stories of hope, stories of love, because God is love and he can do and will do anything for us, his children. But anyway, this is my first video, and thank you for tuning in and listening to me maybe ramble a little bit, but I promise you I'll get better, and this will be fun and loving and enjoyable for all of us. Get ready. I'm coming. He's here.